Namaste and welcome everyone from Dhananjaya Kumar. In this episode of Great Minds, Great Quotes, I would like to bring to your attention a topic which is very interesting and also very touchy or sensitive. And the topic is criticism. That is something we tend to avoid, and that is something that some people always engage in criticizing everything and everybody. So they are extreme. Some people don't like criticism at all. They want everybody to agree with them all the time. That's one extreme. On the other extreme, there are other people who always criticize. No matter how good something is, no matter how well it is done, they always find faults. So somewhere between these two extremes, we live life in society. But the first quotation is very interesting from Albert Hubbard. He says, "To avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing." Which means that in extreme case, if you don't want anybody ever to criticize you, just stay quiet, don't say anything, don't do anything, and don't try to become something bigger, greater, or accomplish a goal. Just stay put, do nothing, become idle and useless, and nobody will ever criticize you because there is nothing to criticize. You haven't said anything, you haven't done anything. That's a kind of extreme, ridiculous situation. So don't be in that position that there is nothing that can be criticized about you because you are not contributing anything, you haven't performed any action, your duties, your responsibilities, and there is no criticism. So this is the extreme, that to avoid criticism altogether, do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. But we don't live in that extreme situation or extreme attitude. We are somewhere in between. And therefore, although criticism is unavoidable, because you communicate with, you engage with, you relate to many people around you, you do a lot of things or try to do a lot of things, you say, you communicate, you speak, you exchange ideas with other people, and you are trying to be something, become something. So along the way, in these routine interactions, there is always somebody sometimes may criticize you. It is very rare, very exceptional, and almost impossible that nobody ever criticizes you. You will face criticism. The trick is you must learn how to react or how to handle it. One of the great sages have said that always keep a critic, a criticizer nearby you, just to put a check, even if it is a false criticism, but it can make you stop, reflect upon it. Maybe you are making a mistake, maybe you said something you shouldn't have said, so it's a good check. So don't totally avoid criticizers. Keep one or two trusted and knowledgeable people who feel free to criticize you. So don't avoid them. Some criticism is inevitable. Then the question is, why do people criticize and why it is to be expected? At least sometimes. That is because each one of us is different. People have different knowledge, people have different understanding, people have different nature, habits, personality, attitude. Everybody has slightly different. in nature. Therefore, there may be no one who will always like everything about you. There is something he may dislike, and if he is friendly with you, he will tell you that, look, what you said I don't like. So the lesson to learn is, when somebody criticizes you, you momentarily stop, check yourself. Did I really say anything well or do anything wrong? Well, if you firmly believe that there is nothing wrong you have done or said, then maybe you can ignore it. But maybe you said something differently, more harshly, or you did something in a hurry and there were some defects left. So somebody criticizes you, you must welcome it, appreciate it. Even if somebody uses bad words and puts you down, think about it. Is he right? If he is right, then it's a good opportunity for you to correct yourself. If he is wrong, and you are sure he is wrong, just ignore it. So this is the art of living. You be selective in what you reject and what you accept. So criticism can help you. However, extreme criticism all the time, purposeless, meaningless criticism, can discourage you. So avoid being discouraged. And never refrain from doing what you believe is good. You are capable of doing it, and you have done it the best you can. Here is another quite meaningful quote from Benjamin Disraeli. It is much easier to be critical than to be correct. It is much easier to be critical than to be correct. So the message is for those who criticize all the time, that are you doing everything correctly and saying all the right thing? Maybe you have some areas you can improve. So not only a message for the eternal criticizers that they need to check themselves as well. For you also, before you criticize other people, realize that maybe you are not perfect yourself in everything. So that other person probably is also not perfect. So if you have very high standards, which is fine, many people may not fit that standard, may not reach there. Similarly, you may not be perfect in everything. So some people criticize, that can be accepted. You can check also whom do you criticize, when and why. So it's a two-way or multiple ways path where we learn to live with one another and constantly try to improve. There is no end to improvement. Somebody has said, the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. Thank you for listening. See you again.